Figure 8.28 demonstrating an array of pointers to functions. Let me go ahead and run this program so I can show you what it does first, and then we'll take a look at the actual program implementation. So here we ask the user to enter a number from 0 to 2 or 3 to n. So if I type 0 and I press enter, it simply shows me that I entered 0, so function 0 was called. If I enter 1, I see that I entered 1, so function 1 was called. And again, if I enter 2, I see that function 2 was called, and 3 terminates the program. This is just a mechanical example to show you how you can create kind of a menuing type of a system based on using an array of function pointers. So let's take a look at our example here. You can see that we have 3 function prototypes for functions named function 0, 1, and 2, each of which receives an integer and returns void. Now in main, we've created an array of pointers to functions. Now this declaration is the most complex declaration of anything we've seen in this live lessons video product so far. Let's take a look at it. And what we have here is an asterisk applied to a variable name in parentheses. So that's your indication that we're dealing with a function pointer of some sort. F sub 3 indicates that F is an array of 3 pointers to functions. That's how you read this highlighted part. An array, F is an array of 3 pointers to functions that return void and each take an int argument. Now, we've pre-initialized our array of 3 elements with the names of the 3 functions that each return void and take an integer argument. So again, whatever names of the functions are that we specified, they have to match up with the declaration of the function pointer as well. So now that we have this array of names of the functions, we can actually call those functions in our program, and we have this simple mechanical example where we ask the user to enter a choice. If that choice is greater than or equal to 0 and it's less than 3, we use it as the subscript into the array F so that we pick off one of the functions to call. We also pass it as an argument to the function. So here we're dereferencing the pointer at position choice within the array F, and then we're passing to that function the value choice as an argument. And as I mentioned previously in the last example, we don't need to dereference the pointer to call the function. We could have written it this way, which is a little bit less clear. In this case, we're saying, again, access the element at position number choice in the array F. That element happens to be a pointer to a function, so we can then use that as the function name and pass an argument to the function as well. So you can choose to use the function pointer either by dereferencing it or by just using the name as the function name. Either way will work. So we're going to call the appropriate function based on the choice, and you can see here the implementations of our functions are all straightforward. They simply output what we passed in and which function was called, so you can see that in fact it's working correctly. So this type of a scenario used to be used very frequently in command line driven C programs where you had to do lots of different operations, and you might pass in a number indicating to the program which function to call to perform a task. In object-oriented programming, we don't tend to use arrays of pointers to functions so much. However, we do tend to use function objects, which again will be covered in the standard template library lesson.